tonight's report tends to deal with all of the pains and all of the struggles that the conflict, the war has caused. I mean, while we're talking about random killings and insecurities, we're also talking about arrest, arbitrary arrest. 135 Ambazonians arrested. As we know, since the onset of the Ambazonian War of Independence in 2016, French Cameroons, or should we call them La République du Cameroun, has consistently pursued a policy of intimidation and victimization towards the southern Cameroons, Ambazonians. In 2017, a French Cameroon journalist was suggesting with impunity that, in quote, Anglophone quarters in La République du Cameroun should be invaded, suggesting that La République du Cameroun forces also invade southern Cameroon's ministers in French Cameroon. He was far from arrested after saying that. As a matter of fact, it seemed he was adhered to, looking at the Ambazonian-focused attack. Refugees' homes and livelihoods have destroyed on a regular basis. They are destroyed on a regular basis. Ambazonian stores locked and many more atrocities that we can't even begin to mention. But before I even continue with this particular analysis, let's get this particular video first.
Mais je suggère au gouvernement, de mettre l'état d'urgence dans toute la partie anglophone du Cameroun. Je dis qu'on mette l'état d'urgence dans toute la partie anglophone du Cameroun. Et l'état d'urgence en question a un préalable, c'est qu'il y ait des rafles dans toute la partie anglophone du Cameroun. Même les maisons des ministres ont été visitées. Parce que je vois les anglophones, même chez nous ici, qui sont contents que non, c'est bien, c'est bien, c'est bien. Mais quand on placera une bombe dans une école qui tuera les anglophones eux-mêmes, on ne doit plus négocier avec les terroristes. Mais j'ai quand même l'impression que tous les anglophones sont d'accord avec ce qui arrive à Bamenda dans les attentats. Ça veut dire que même ici à Yaoundé, les quartiers réputés pour être des quartiers anglophones doivent être surveillés. Ce qui arrive à Douala nous parle. Si à Douala on pose des bombes artisanales, il est fort possible qu'ici à Yaoundé on ait également des stations.
Alright, so I must also mention here that particular video has been on since 2017, where that journalist was inciting violence. Now, in that video, you hear a supposed main analyst and journalist suggesting a state of anarchy after hearing such xenophobic remarks that incite violence against the minority Southern Cameroons. The world's top-ranked jailer of journalists did not have that journalist arrested. Well, we know the story would have been different if it was another or other journalist who spoke the truth on what's happening on the ground. And these xenophobic remarks are not isolated incidents, but part of a broader part and pattern of dehumanizing and intimidation from French La République du Cameroun politicians such as Libre, who have echoed similar sentiments, accusing all southern Cameroonians of being inherently suspicious or dangerous. Other public figures have gone so far as to refer to Ambazonians as rats and vermin and dogs, using language historically associated with campaigns of mass violence and extermination. Libre, a one-time presidential candidate of the Cameroons, also suggested that the constitution be suspended and La République du Cameroun declare a state of emergency, which means a matter that is supposed to be prosecuted legally can bypass the law and be prosecuted by anarchy. Whether that was declared or not, it is obvious it was implemented regardless, because as you heard, he suggested that the colonial forces should kill, and we see this play out on a regular basis. Colonial forces shoot on sight, massacres, executions, and mass arrest. Even just a few days ago, these colonial forces killed a man and dumped his body in the Wura River with impunity. This rhetoric of hate has paved the way for French Cameroon forces to carry out violent operations with little resistance from international observers. Arbitrary arrests and mass detentions have become commonplace, as demonstrated by the recent crackdown in the Mongo division. In September 2024, gendarmes detained at least 135 individuals in Niho Manju subdivision, allegedly for offenses ranging from the non-possession of identity cards to drug trafficking and theft. Many of those detained were innocent youths from Ambazonian community, targeted simply for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, while 21 individuals were released after interrogation. Over 100 continues to remain in detention. Their fate uncertain, their rights obviously violated. The raid in Mongo is part of a broader strategy of collective punishment designed to intimidate and subjugate the Ambazonian people in the name of law enforcement. The regime continues to exploit its power to suppress dissent, impose fear, and further marginalize the Southern Cameroons. The repeated violation of human rights, from unlawful detention to the destruction of homes, shows that La Republic du Cameroon is not interested in resolving the conflicts, but in perpetuating the subjugation of our entire population. The international community's attention is desperately needed at this point. The systematic persecution of Southern Cameroonians cannot be allowed to continue unchecked. These acts of oppression, fueled by xenophobia, sanctioned by silence, and executed by force, are clear human rights violations that require accountability not only for the individuals who give voice to hate, but for the regime that enables and executes violence against the people they purport as theirs.